Give us the Nagy best, the Jiggy Jaggy
Yeah,
Jiggeroo.
I'm going to do the intro right now.
Yeah, fuck yeah, love it.
Michael Nagy here with Jiggy Jag TV and DiscoveringBands.com, and I'm here with the band allinaline. How you doing today?
What's going on, Michael? How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's good to have you. Good to see you again.
It is very nice to see you. As I said before, it's too bad we're not outside of QXTs, but here we are on the World Wide Web again and on your YouTube channel. I love it.
Yeah, quarantine life.
Quarantine life. As a songwriter, I live a quarantine life, but it's nice to have y'all home with me.
So now, do you want to tell us a little about yourself? You have a lot going on with everything you do.
Yeah, mostly, God, the life of music. I can't give you the long story, but I grew up doing music. I really got into electronic music early 90s. You know, a guy showed up, this guy that lived in a trailer park near me showed up out of his car at school, and he like handed me the Revolting Cocks, Beer Steers, and Queers tape. He was like, "You're gonna fucking love this," and I was like, "All right." I checked it out, and just the sampling and the like punk rock anti, establishment thing there with this new sound that had come from, Pan Luxa and all these great geniuses, just like hit me real hard at that age. And it just took me on this fucking electronic music journey. I started sampling, when we had those like keyboards with the discs you had to like put in, you'd get like 13 seconds on a disc, and I'd sample like one sample from like UHF with Weird Al, like Spatula City, and then it'd make some weird fucking beat with a church organ and the weird sound you'd get out of like 90s digital keyboards. And long story short, that led me into a journey of loving electronic music, and now I mostly produce, mostly in Ableton Live, and I play bass, and I'm just a general punk and roll jackass.
And you've been in some pretty big metal bands too, right?
Yeah, I was lucky enough. I'd gone to school in Boston, and I went back to Atlanta where I grew up, and I actually met a dude that had gone to the same school with me, but we didn't know each other then. And he was in this band he had started called DAATH, and it was like a kind of melodic death metal band, and we ended up getting signed to Roadrunner, and we toured with that for a good amount of time, maybe like 2004 till 2010. Kind of everything stopped going more full time, and then a lot of us had toured with Chimaira, and then Mark Hunter went off once a lot of the guys stopped leaving Cleveland, and most of DAATH ended up being Chimaira at that point, with Mark Hunter as the singer. And we did another stint and went out. We got to do great things. It was a super cool time, a decade of touring the heavy metal stages of the world. We played the last Ozfest that toured, the free one, where it was like, the ticket's free, but the beer is $20, and then I was doing a lot of this electronic music and sampling on the bus or like in the van when after my driving shift, at 6 a.m. I'd like just pull over and get the laptop and headphones as everyone's snoring around me and just kind of like chop edit vocals and beats like an idiot to try to get myself to sleep. And now mostly that's kind of taken over my life out of the metal scene. And as you know, I'm in a band with awesome artist Clea Cutthroat called Hot Pink Satan, and that's kind of the main band I'm in now. But I produce under allinaline for tons of different projects right now, and we're kind of like bringing up Pittsburgh into the electronic music world. I have a digital only label. We don't really print anything yet to keep costs super low, and we just find artists around here that do great electronic music or have great visions, and we help them get out material. So and obviously all of my stuff's on there too, but it's a cool thing. I really see it as a way, like, people around the world now, if you have some small tools and the ability to just post stuff on the internet, you can find people everywhere for your music. Whereas like growing up, you know, we had to hand tapes to people or, you know, give them directions on a flyer. Now there's so much access out there that even though it's so saturated, you know, you can find your people around the world, and it's a cool special thing. So we have that label to kind of get it out digitally. It's on all the streaming platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Just Google it. We like to say, you know, just Google it. Anything, you'll find us. It's the new world, right?
Right. Now I see you constantly doing different remixes. What's some remixes you've done recently?
I just did some stuff with this Isolate Create project online, and I just did a Youth Code remix and a Chelsea Wolf remix off of that. And that's a cool thing where I think they're posted up at reverb.com, you can get the stems from a lot of cool recordings from, I think, like 12, 13 artists up there. There's just free stems out there. So funny enough, the Youth Code remix was the first one I did. We'd known Sarah through like the heavy metal world because she did merch forever for all these great bands. And we would always be the people in town that'd be like, go get her, you know, something vegan because she was that. And we'd bring her food while she was manning the merch table and couldn't eat bar food. And she was really cool. And they stayed here. Their first time they went out as Youth Code, they stayed at our house. And since then, I've been bugging them for stems and never got an answer. So the first day I saw that online where they were offering up stems through that, I was just like, well, I'm doing a damn remix. And so then that led to me just like looking through the library, and there's some cool songs in there. So I did the Chelsea Wolf one. I'll probably do another one, but I want to do a couple Pittsburgh remixes here because I got some people on deck. And that's kind of always been my love. I really loved like the culture of like mashups or like remix forever, you know, even like in the 90s when I started getting into electronic music, it was like there was like these Bjork remix albums that were just like better, not better than the original, but it just took it to a whole new world. And there's just such a big culture of that I think is a little more hollow, where there's not these like, you know, you'll get like a couple really branded remixes, but you don't have these artists that really like take it out to the extreme like it used to happen. And it's such a tight-knit community and everyone knows each other, and digital files these days. It's still there. I just want to see it blow up because that's like one of my favorite things. So, but you can find it all. Google me. You'll find them.
And what are some artists you'd like to do remixes for?
Oh, man. There's a really great artist out of New York City called Dream Crusher. They do a fucking intense ass punk rock electronic noise show that is just, last time I saw him, it was in like one of these punk rock house basement shows. And I was definitely like the oldest person there. And it was them and a great other band in New York City called Show Me the Body. And they both put on a great show, but Dream Crusher's show is literally like fog so thick you can't see anything with a strobe light going so that you just feel totally disoriented, right? And one of the best songs was a cover of Benny Benassi's Satisfaction, right? With this amazing human like grabbing the mic and then grabbing people out of the fog and like screaming like, you know, touch me so I can get my, and just like kicking people to the ground and like, you know, basically like you're just in a fog and then you get hit by the singer and you're on the ground getting like punked out to. I would love to do a remix for Dream Crusher. I would love to do a Show Me the Body remix. I'd love to do a Nightclub remix because that's a total guilty pleasure. I really see every different remix as kind of a gift and a challenge. So I'm open to anything. I'm literally like probably like how you are, because you are so into the community and like talking to artists, and like I know you're always like, hey, can I get an interview? I am that guy that's like backstage that's like, hey man, can I get some stems? They're like, let's shoot some whiskey. I'm like, well, why don't you Gmail me your vocal tracks? But I'm a nerd, you know, that's how we roll.
Funny. So this quarantine time, how are you handling it? What are you doing? Just making some music?
Music. That's, you know, I was an only child. I grew up in a room where I would just take life's frustrations and then throw it down on tape. And that's always been my thing. That's always been my medicine, my release, my way to communicate, all these things that challenge us. So I've been doing that. And just generally, you know, trying to keep an eye on everybody in the community. You know, we all know people who might have been struggling before this, and this is so intense, you know, that we're just trying to keep an eye on those people, you know, trying to keep our thoughts and, you know, give out love to a bunch of people who are affected. You know, I know in New York, you know, Miss Cherry Delight, her grandmother passed and her mother had it. It's intense, you know, and it's like we all know people right next to us that's getting hit. So I'm making lots of art and just trying to keep an eye out for people you can, you know?
Yeah, it's good right now to be giving content to people, keep people distracted, entertained. It's a really good thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, you know, and just connecting with everybody. I feel like our society in general is so disconnected, you know, and you're getting sold all the time, you know, so this gives everyone an opportunity to talk, you know, and really kind of have a little more connection with each other. So let's all take advantage of that through all the bullshit, and we'll get out of this and be in a venue soon, you know?
Yes, that's what I was going to ask. When this all passes, you have plans for playing live again?
Oh yeah, I was gonna come out with I just let out an EP under allinaline in the fall and put out some new remixes and stuff. So I was gearing up to come back out doing that and then move into Hot Pink Satan round 2. So as soon as we're open, I'll be bugging you. I'll be like, I'm coming to town.
Have you thought about maybe allinaline opening and Hot Pink Satan headlining or something like playing together?
Every time I end up doing one of these shows, where I have such a direct thing to everything, I end up not quite feeling like I do it all justice, you know. I don't mind it. I honestly love doing it and I would do it all the time, but I would rather not, you know, confuse everybody as far as, you know, do you really want it to be the Jeremy show, you know? Like, you know, it's like nobody, you know, it's always better to give people one song less than they like. So giving them 3 sets, what's funny is we had known Clea Cutthroat in Germany, in Berlin, and she actually booked my first electronic show there. And it was one of these shows where she was bartending. I DJ'd for like an hour, and then I did like an hour of original songs and a couple covers. And then I started playing like original remixes and mashups back into DJing, and the thing lasted like 4.5 hours. And those are great nights, and you party your ass off, and they're great. But I feel like I would rather give full attention to Hot Pink Satan, full attention to allinaline. I got these people I'm working with here, the Molecule Party in Pittsburgh. I'll probably go out with them because we're launching their new record. You can check it out on Facebook right now, like a pre-release listen, and on YouTube. But they want to that's a great record that we just finished. So they want to get out there live, and I'll probably even do a stint with them. But I'd like to keep it separate so that people aren't overloaded and can enjoy one thing fully, and then play with other bands in areas, you know, and keep that going rather than just be like, here's 4 hours of stuff. It's like your friend that like won't give up the aux jack at that point, then, you know.
Now, if people want to find you online, look you up, how do they do that? I know you mentioned a little bit, but how do people find you?
We are almost everywhere. So Google anything. If you Google allinaline, if you Google Steeltown Industrial, if you Google Hot Pink Satan, all of it's interconnected. So you'll find me there. I'm Jeremy.
All over the social media.
Yeah, exactly. I am kind of like the person that's probably pretty annoyed now by people that like cross post in 5 places. So I post a little less everywhere, but if you follow me everywhere, you get something basically original everywhere, but not down your throat every Tuesday for a scheduled post. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's good talking with you and having you, and everyone look him up.
Hey man, I love it, Mike. Thanks so much for having me tonight, and thank everyone for watching. And we'll see you guys on the other side. And we had talked about doing some live material. Let's get together on that. We'll do an event here.